This is going to be the Forge of Souls as a Mistweaver monk. So first in a series of 3 super tough dungeons in the Frozen Halls in Icecrown Citadel. If you come here as a member of the Horde, you talk to Sylvanas Windrunner. Alliance gets Jaina Proudmoore instead, I believe. So she gives a quest chain that goes through these 3 dungeons.
Our mission is a bit more subtle, but equally as important.
She has things to say.
With the attention of the Lich King turned towards the front gate, we'll be working our way through the side, in search of information that will enable us to defeat him, once and for all.
Only 2 bosses in here.
Our scouts have reported
it's a little
that the
place.
Lich King has a private chamber outside of the Frozen Throne, deep within a place called the Halls of Reflection. That is our target.
She says reflection, really weird.
We will cut a swath of destruction through this cursed place, and find a way to enter the Halls of Reflection. If there is anything of value to be found here, it will be found in the halls. The Dark Lady watches over you. Make haste.
Okay, so what do we have? That's a Protection Warrior. I see a Hunter, I see a Rogue or Windwalker, and I see another Hunter. Alright, double Hunter party. 2 people from Dragonblight. Okay, that's a monk. Cool. Spiteful Apparition. Yeah, okay, so those things just come out of nowhere and bop you a little bit and then just, like, go away. Whoa! Where is this damage coming from? So hit my revival button. Still having trouble keeping up. Okay, I thought I remembered this place being, like, not so serious compared to the other 2, but, like, this looks serious. Okay, so hefty damage there from something. What's doing that? I wonder. I am not familiar with this ability that's just like chunking everybody for 1/3 of their health and hitting multiple times. Yikes. Well, that's a scary one. I'm ready to drink already. Gonna take a little moment whenever I can sit down, put some tea in my mouth. This looks like an obnoxious spot to be a tank because a whole bunch of casters spread out in that, like, 5 pattern there. They're all going to want to stay where they are instead of grouping up like you want them to. I wonder what tank queue times are like for this dungeon. Damage queue times are, like, unplayable. Healer was... it took some effort. Again, I have my experience bar disabled right now just because these last few dungeons in Wrath of the Lich King were real hard to get into. I had to sit for a long time and do something else in the game before I could actually get into these dungeons. Just because nobody plays them so much. I guess, like, as a player base, people who play this game tend to take a path of least resistance rather than going for the real challenges that can be found in the later dungeons in these expansions. At least that's what it seems like. But I think I got a good group here. Yeah, okay, so I had some confusion in Trial of the Champion, because I remembered somewhere in here there was a good group who I played one of these with, and then they queued up for another one right away, and I played another. The way I remembered it was that the group I went to Trial of the Champion with came here to Forge of Souls, but no, that's not how it happened. This group at the end of this queues up for another dungeon, and I come along, and it happens to be Trial of the Champion, which I had already done. So that was what I was thinking of. Look at all the skulls flying around. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure, like 90% sure, if you accidentally fall off the edge of one of these platforms, you're just gonna die and go right back to the beginning. Because, yeah, there's a big death pit down there. Fortunately, the platforms are big, and I don't think there are any enemy mechanics that push you around, so falling off's not a real danger if you're not deliberately trying to do it. Man, yeah, some real heavy hits going out here. Fun place to be a healer if you like that sort of thing, and I do. When I'm playing a Mistweaver, at least. If I were here as a druid, I would be hating everything. I don't know, I keep trying to make Restoration Druid work. It's just, I cannot. It is the one healer that, well, other than Holy Priest, which I haven't tried lately, but, like, Druid just, I cannot figure it out. I don't know what it is. Don't know how to play a Druid. Everybody on the forum says, oh, Restoration Druid's the best healer by far. Like, every other healer might as well not bring them, because Druid's amazing, but I don't get it. Maybe they're just bad with leveling? It's like, I just cannot make it work for some reason. I go out of mana just as quick as I do as a Mistweaver, and with like half the output. So however the heck you play that class, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but like, I've studied guides, I've read all my ability tooltips, I'm using them just to the best of my ability. Anyway, so, no. There's like nothing happening here, so I'm going to complain about a completely different healing class that I don't understand how to play. Anyway, yeah, so small place. That map that I was flashing up for half a second is the entire thing. Couple of platforms like this, coming up to first boss, then just a little hallway, then final boss. Wow, I just lost like 80% of my health in one hit. Maybe it was 2 hits that happened right next to each other, but dude, what is doing that? So we got Soulguard Bonecaster, Soulguard Reaper, Soulguard Adept. And I don't know which is the scary one. No one's marked them with skulls or anything, so we know which to kill first. Not that I'm doing much killing right now. That's not really my job at the moment. Making use of my healing elixirs and my mana drinks. Pretty sure there's at least one wipe in here. Whoop, Tiger's Lust. Okay, that's reasonable. People are moving on. Which also was reasonable. I didn't need to stop and drink for like a minute or anything. Shroud of Runes. I wonder what that does. Something. The V key is right next to the B key, which opens my backpack. The way I had my key bindings at this point, V toggles. Huh, I wonder what you were trying to do there. Huh. I don't know what that means. The way I had my key bindings now, that V toggled enemy nameplates. I've changed it now because I usually don't actually want to toggle those off. Just leave them on all the time. And I would hit V by accident all the time when I'm going for B.
Sever your soul from your body.
Brunjam, what is this guy? The Godfather of Souls or something? One of these referential bosses. Did he just heal a bunch? Or no, his health bar is just not moving down very fast. He teleports in Soul Storms. Now, what Soul Storm? Do I want to be close or far? I couldn't remember. I think it's close? Yeah, it's close. Then he fears so that you'll run far away. So Jarvy's taking some damage, trying to get back, because he got feared out of the place you want to be. Now I'm experiencing that. So Soulstorm slows me down. Fortunately I'm a monk, so I have quick ways to get back. Alright, he's down. Hey, somebody got Papa's new bag. That's nice. 2 people got it. That's a good one. It's a very large bag. This is a place that I find worthwhile to go even like at this point in the game, just because, yeah, 20 slot bag. I mean, 20 slots isn't amazing these days, but this is worth coming to. Like, bag space upgrades are hard to come by. This is one of the sources of them. One of the few. Other than, you know, tailors. If you're willing to use the auction house, which for whatever reason I'm not, then you can just buy like 30 slot bags or whatever. for not much money. But for whatever reason, I just don't do that. It's unique equipped, so once the character gets one, that's all you really get to use. Can't come back and just get a whole thing full of 20 slot bags here. Oh, we're here already. Okay, there's not much space between Bronjam and final boss. I am trying hard, but my best is not good enough because we got 2 Spectral Wardens at once. Yeah, that's what happens. You really need to only fight one of those at a time. Alright, so Spectral Wardens. Do the nasty. I did my very best. It was pretty good, but I mean... it's just a matter of not having the output for that. Alright, so that's where the wipe happened. Cool. Okay, time to run back through that whole thing. Alright, so I think we just come out of Bronjam's chamber. This left goes nowhere. You gotta turn right here. Yeah, okay. So yeah, what was it? Spectral Warden? I was checking the combat log on my way back to see what had hit me. So yeah, there's just an ability they have that hits everybody within 40 yards for a lot of damage. So we really need just one at a time. Other monk made it here quickest. Good for him. Yeah, so this guy patrols up and down here. Other one patrols up and down that hallway to the right. I'm using attacks. That's not really... This isn't really the time to do that, but I snuck a few in and got away with it. Yeah, there was that ability. Shadow Whale or something? I forget what it is. I can tell when it happens. Okay, here come the other one. Alright, it was just patrolling just far enough away that that was okay. If the cycles had worked out a little differently, we could have been in trouble again, but fortunately, we made it happen. Essence Font is one of those abilities that, at least at this level, it's hard to really feel it doing much. It looks like it's healing everybody when you look at the middle of the screen, but when you look at the upper left of the screen, it doesn't really look like that. It just doesn't hit for much. There's like 5% of a health bar. But hey, 5% of a health bar is 5% of a health bar. It's more than nothing. I can cast it while I'm moving. You know. It's something. Oh, there's a third Spectral Warden. Okay, so... gotta keep watching those. Alright, and I think nothing between here and final boss. Yeah. Okay, cool. Mana drinks are cheap. If you can take a moment to sit down for a couple of seconds and get a little bit of mana back, it's worth doing. Devourer of Souls sure has a voice. Also has 3 faces. Don't forget about reflectability. Devourer of Souls casts Mirrored Soul. Mirrored Soul, I seem to recall, targets a random party member, and if I'm thinking of it right, every bit of damage that's done to Devourer of Souls while it's active also goes to that party member. So basically just stop all damage until Mirrored Soul falls off. These guys don't even have nameplates. They're definitely untargetable. I'm just standing here and taking it. That's a bad idea. I shouldn't do that. I should have moved around because they were kind of slow. I could have gotten away from that. Okay, yeah, so, like, as much as this place is overshadowed by Petasaron and Halls of Reflection coming up, it's still real serious? Like, it is not much less hard than those two. What a time it was for, like, this to be the end game. I loved it. Like, these 3 dungeons together are kind of like my favorite dungeons. Wailing Souls. Looks like it's just a big laser beam clock thing. Don't stare into the abyss and see your end or whatever. I guess? That one I'm less familiar with. Maybe because it's so big and easy to dodge, I just never really see the mechanic that much. Okay, so I have the Mirrored Soul. Yep, I took a lot of damage from that. People stopped damage quick enough to manage not to kill me, so that was nice. I appreciate that. Devourer Soul's almost dead. We're good here. One shot at it. Yeah! And here comes the Horde.
We will slaughter anyone who stands.
Alright, and this chains on to Pitaceron.
We shall set up our base camp in these chambers. My Magi will get the Scourge transport device working shortly.
That was a real good run.
Step inside when you are ready for your next mission.
Yeah, see, so other people also trying to get this one done for a while. See, so it's not just me who does this. It's just there aren't very many of us, as it turns out. Not enough to fill a dungeon queue actively doing stuff like this. Alright, so yeah, I was kind of hoping these would go right on to Pitaceron, but they queue for... what is it? I don't know, something happens here. So yeah, there's a queue for multiple dungeons. I'm not sure what they're doing, but this was a good group, and I liked their company, so I decided to come along with them. So if you step into this portal, it'll take you straight to the Pitaceron. But like I said, we ended up going to the Trial of the Champion, and had a good run there, but I already had one in that, so I didn't need it. Alright, see you next time for Pitaceron, I guess.